Okay, this is practical 1 from lecture 3. So for this exercise, we're going to create a project which lists a stock of business selling printers or any other items. Okay, the main functionalities is the user can calculate the total value of stock on hand. The user can enter a printer's description, the unit price of the printer, and it will be highlighted with yellow in the data grid view. And also a message box will display the unit price. Finally, when the total is calculated, the collection of the combo box is populated with all the listed parameters, all the listed printer descriptions, and then the user must use the drop-down arrow functionality to choose a printer. Cool. So I've already designed the form in Visual Studio. We have our data grid view. Okay. To get our columns, we go add columns. Okay, we're just going to go edit. This is where we create them, name them here. So this is the header text which will appear there. Okay, we have 3 columns, so item description, unit price, and quantity. Once that is done, remember to name your controls: DGV stock, the buttons as usual, BTN total, CBX or GBX, and group box. Okay, we have a group box here, combo box, and 2 buttons. Cool. So let's start. Okay, so everything's been commented. So let's do the total button first, which is, let's go back to that slide. Yeah, the total stock on hand. Cool, so for this we need to declare a variable to keep track of the total. So we can say double total value equals to 0. Okay, and the way we're going to get the stock on hand, we're going to put this in a try. Okay, and we're going to do it in a loop. So for int I 0 dgv stock dot row count. So this counts the number of rows there is in the data grid view. -1. Remember, that's to account for that empty space. ++. Okay, and then the total will be calculated in here. So our normal variable there is total value. Remember, it's plus equals because we keep on adding to the total value variable. We have to take the value, so we have to convert it to double. I will explain this just now. DGV, I think it's called stock. Yeah. Okay, so we want column. It's always columns, rows. Okay, so column 1, index 1, and then we'll use I as the row counter. Dot value, I think it is. Oh, semicolon. Okay, nope, actually this calculation is not complete. We need to multiply this. The dot to double DGV stock with the second one, row, oops, column 2, now we're on the second column, and then the row is still on the index value. And now it's a semicolon there. Cool. And then we must display that total. Oops, that's extra bracket. That -1 comment is supposed to be in there. That's for this part. Okay, so our message box dot show. What are we going to say here? We're going to say total value of stock on hand or something like that. So total value of stock on hand. Let's see. Don't forget to put the R sign. We have to convert this value. Convert to string, because remember it's a message box which is type text or type string. And the variable is the variable that we have here, keeping track of the total. So total value. Cool. What is this here now? Oh, it's missing a catch. Oh, this comment is there. So basically that's the unit price. Okay, so let me explain this before we put the catch. Actually, just put the catch in now. Okay, so the catch statement. Okay. Just put an error message box dot show, and we can say make sure you use numerical values or enter numbers. Please enter numbers. Enter numbers in the grid view. Oh, I'll sell. And what can we say? Column. Okay, that should account for that. That bracket's there. That's the try and that's the catch. Okay, so we have our variable to keep track of the total. This is how we're going to get the stock in hand. Remember, we're using the getting the count of the rows. That's going to be how many times it loops through. This is how we calculate the total on hand, which is the unit price. There, multiplied by that. Remember, the indexes will work with its columns first and then rows. So here we're in column 1, and then we iterate down the rows. So column 1, this is column 0, column 1, and then down. Okay. And then should be column 2, yes, which is unit price times quantity. Okay, and then we just display the calculation that we have there. The next thing we have to do is where's the slides? User can enter printer's description. The unit price of printer will be highlighted in the data grid below, and the message box will display the unit price. Okay. Oops. When total calculation, the comma box is populated, so we can do that later. That's gonna be there on the search. This is the wrong name of the button, by the way. Change that quickly. Search. Didn't change it there, but remember, this is button search. Okay. Okay, so let's first declare count variable. Oops, int count equals to 0. And then now we want to set the number of rows inside this counter variable. Okay, so we say count is equal to the DGV, which is the datagridview thing stock. So we use row count. So this counts the number of rows. And that's stored in the counter. Why is that not working? Does not exist. Oh, what is that? That is still not working. Huh. How do I do that? That should work. Let's count equals DGV stock. Can I not reach it? Oh, I can. dot row count. Why does this not work? Does not exist. Huh? I can't reach it. There we go. Ah, that's why. I closed basically that stupid error. Closed off this too early. This code is supposed to be in there. Okay. So now we create an array. Okay, so we need to store the names of the items which is in the combo box in there, which we should actually populate. And the way we do it is whatever's entered here will be entered into this collection. So first we store it in an array. Let's create an array first. So let's make it array string, and we shall call this items equals new string, and we're going to use the index here as count. Okay, so whatever the row is, it'll, as the rows keep going down, it'll increase the array. Okay, and then we have to put a loop in excuse me, so that we can put stuff into the array each time it's added. Int I equals 0, and then I is less than count. Remember, depends on the number of rows there. I plus plus. And we set our array item. What is it? Oops. ToString. So data grid view. So we want the column 0, so first column, and then the row can iterate through the index of I. Square bracket dot value. Okay, so whatever is in that cell here, going down, will be put into the combo box with the next line of code here. Just close. So we have to basically get the data from the source. That's what data source function does. Basically where the data is stored, this is where we get the data from. And the code for that is we set our combo box, I think it's cbx items data source, and we set this to the array variable, so items. Okay, so everything that would be entered in there would now be populated here. And that's the first part done. Second part is to do this part here. Oh, we actually did this first. These actually go hand in hand. For this part, we are going to go into this button. Okay, we need another counter variable, so we can go int count equals 0, and then we do the same thing where we set it to the rows, which is count equals to dgv stock dot row count. Okay, so count will be the number of rows that we actually have or added. Now we're doing the highlighting of the chosen item, or selected cell rather. So let's create a temporary variable, or empty variable, string item. Okay, and then say int index equals 0. So this is another index that we're going to use. First, what do we have to do here? We actually have to set the item. So item should contain whatever's in the combo box. So now item. Oh, we can just do it in there. String equals cbx items. Cool. This is our index. And now we need to find, basically get the index. So what we're looking for, if there's 4 values here and we click on that one, we're trying to get the index of this current cell. Where we can do that is by using a loop. Int I equals 0, I less than the counter, number of times it will run, depends on the row, and then I plus plus. Move it down. So we're gonna have we're gonna have a check or comparison. So what we're gonna check is whether or not the item in that cell matches the one in the variable item, which is set to what's in the combo box. Cool. So we say if, remember we have to convert to a string to compare to another string. We're comparing text basically. So convert dot toString, and then we're going to use the DGV with the following indexes. So we want to start at rows, column 0, it's column row first, and then we're going to iterate with the index for the columns, rows, sorry. What is that? Oh, dot value. Yeah, and then we check if it's equal to whatever was set in item, which is in the combo box. What do I have wrong here? Oh, it should be outside. Okay. If this is true, then we must set the index temporary variable to whatever I is to that index. Okay. Now we're going to use that index variable to change the color of the cell. And the way we do that, I can actually use this comment up, is we take the data grid view dot rows and we use that index, so that specific index that we clicked on. Sorry, the price that we search for. It's here. So we select an item from the combo box and then we click search, and wherever it finds that specific item, it's going to highlight that cell. Okay, dot cells 1 dot style. I think it's back color. And what color do we set it to? Blue. Yellow, of course. It's color dot yellow. Semicolon. Okay, and lastly, we just have to display that price in a message box. Okay, so we're going to work with the indexes again. So a message box dot show. Okay, and what is it? It's going to be the unit price. So the unit price is let's remember, it's going to display the item description first, which is what was selected in the combo box. You can see we put it in there, and then numerical value, so your rand, your currency, and then the value. So convert .toString, remember, because it's a message box. And it's data grid view. So we're going to go column 1, which is the unit price, and index, which is the calculated index that we search for. Dot value. Well, selected index basically. And I think that is the program. That should work. Oh, it's taking long. Okay, cool. So let's say ABC, unit price is 23, quantity say 5, BCD, let's say 54, we want 2, AAA, 56, and we want 2. Okay, so we calculate the total value. Total value of stock on hand is 335. Remember to leave a space in there. It's gonna be right, should be right. And there we see we've populated that. Now that's that piece of data source code. That's what it does there. Now we can select, and base whatever we select here, it must find that price and highlight it. And once we click search, so there we go. Shows, remember to add a space again in your message box. So unit price is 54, it's highlighted, and then you can see it's displayed. Cool.